for us, it was a long, slow build, and we built up a family that cared about us and weren't there just for the trend or fad, you know. So we had built it up, and it felt good to get the recognition with the Black Album.
Metallica's fifth studio album, known as the Black Album, was recorded over an 8-month period between October of 1990 and June of 1991. The album was recorded at 101 Studios in Los Angeles and will go on to be released on August the 12th of 1991. The album's producer, Bob Rock, was initially contacted to mix the Black Album, but Rock stated he was much more interested in being the producer.
But he had instantly had vision on where these things could go, and it was inspiring to me. You know, it wasn't just Lars and I trying to sort out what should happen and argue and this and that. We had a fifth member that was going to help us get what we wanted.
The work they had done before was pretty much every band member was recorded separately. So I had told them how I work was to have everybody playing together in the studio and getting more of a feel for the song and the whole thing. But during the recording of Black, things weren't always exactly smooth sailing between Bob Rock and Metallica.
I would say the whole first part of, maybe 3 months of the album, including pre-production, was really, really difficult. I think they were all a bit suspicious of me. And for me to sit down and make comments on their songs, most of them kind of went unnoticed. I'd say something and they kind of ignored me.
There was definitely a breaking in period, where we had to get to know each other and, test each other out and make sure this guy's okay to, help, drive the Metallica train here, We put him through the ringer a lot, and he survived.
The Black Album is 12 amazing tracks of heavy metal and hard rock, with massive Metallica anthems such as Enter Sandman and Sad But True, with the album touching on more mellow moments also, with the songs Nothing Else Matters and The Unforgiven.
I never really had the big picture of this album that I think Lars did. I just knew it was a bunch of good songs, and that's all any of our other records had been. These are the best songs we can write, and we'll put them out.
The Black Album was a massive commercial success for Metallica and became the band's best-selling album. It debuted at number 1 in 10 countries and spent 4 consecutive weeks at the top of the Billboard 200. On a global scale, the Black Album is one of the best-selling albums worldwide of all time, and it is also one of the best-selling albums ever in the United States. To date, the album has been certified 16 times platinum and has sold over 16 million copies in the United States alone and over 30 million worldwide. In this 1991 interview, Lars Ulrich discusses the different approach the band took with the album.
The thing is that when you just have a different approach to the way you write the songs, and you have actually almost enjoy yourself when you're playing, and that comes across this kind of different feeling that I think we've ever had on a record before, then I think all those things make it easier to listen to. It's not the fact that we sat down and said, let's make a record that's easier to listen to. It's just when we're having fun and all this kind of attitude and thing comes through in the playing, then that makes it easier for you to kind of listen to and kind of be part of what we're trying to do or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
5 singles were released from the Black Album: Enter Sandman, The Unforgiven, Nothing Else Matters, Wherever I May Roam, and Sad But True. With Enter Sandman, the leading single and opening track for the album, being the most successful release from the album and goes down as one of the most well-known Metallica songs of all time. The riff for Enter Sandman was written by lead guitarist Kirk Hammett, who stated he had written the riff at around 3 o'clock one morning. Hammett's original riff just went one time over, repeating itself. But drummer Lars Ulrich came up with the idea to have that main riff repeat itself 3 times over, and this was the result.
So I repeated the front part.
The band had been a bit leery of making music videos up until the point of And Justice for All, where they made the music video for their song One. But they decided for the Black Album and Enter Sandman that they would go ahead and make a music video for the song.
Yeah, I don't think we knew how much we could control how much the video looked or where it went, and, you know, have to edit, you know, loads of it out. And so now we're a little more confident of how we can control it.
You know, Holier Than Thou was like the big front runner. I remember everybody, like, it's one big argument, like, Holier Than Thou is the, you know, the first track on the record and the first single, and I was just like, guys, you don't get it.
The album's cover depicts the band's logo in the upper left-hand corner with a coiled snake in the bottom right-hand corner. For the initial release, both emblems were embossed so they could barely be seen against the black background, giving Metallica the nickname The Black Album.
I guess it was called Metallica, but I always call it the Black Album. There was no real theme to this one. It was simple black cover, and you had to listen to the music. You wouldn't be distracted by a drawing on the front.
Lyrically, the album did go down similar paths to other Metallica records, with some exceptions. However, those themes of inner struggles and personal themes were still very present here on the Black Album. An example of that would be on one of the standout tracks from the album, The Unforgiven. As Hetfield sings, "With time the child draws in, this whipping boy done wrong, deprived of all his thoughts, the young man struggles on." They dedicate their lives to running all of his. He tries to please them all, this bitter man he is. And the chorus, "What I've felt, what I've known, never shined through, and what I've shown, never free, never me, so I dub thee Unforgiven."
The only way was to really go inward and a little more universal. When you start talking about your own feelings and more just kind of questions about life and things that touch everyone, you can't go wrong with that, you know, once you start talking about your own feelings, and a little less about the outside world.
The Black Album celebrates its 30th anniversary on the 12th of August 2021, and Metallica has done something very special to celebrate this milestone. For its 30th anniversary, Metallica are releasing a massive deluxe box set of the Black Album, including all this awesome stuff right here. All in all, you've got 14 CDs, 6 LPs, 6 DVDs, and so much more. Throw in awesome stuff like a lyric folder, 3 guitar picks, and a 120-page book filled with never-before-seen photos, and you can't go wrong. Just a massive set celebrating the 30th anniversary of the album, but still, there's more. You've got the Metallica Blacklist, that's 53 artists covering their favorite songs from the Black Album on 7 LPs and 4 CDs. With artists such as Corey Taylor, Miley Cyrus, and Weezer, just to name a few. With all the profits going to charity. So, the Black Album, this is one awesome album, as everybody knows. Some people might say Metallica sold out on this album by going a bit more commercial, but as they explain it themselves, they just wrote the best songs that they could at that time, and they just wrote what they wrote at that time. They weren't necessarily trying to go for a more commercial sound, they just wrote what they felt. So yeah, it's a different album from their Ride the Lightnings and Master of Puppets and Justice for All. A bit more simplified, you could say. But it knows what it is, and it does what it does, if you catch my drift, if I could put it that way. I guess my point is, it works very well for what Metallica have done here. Everything has probably already been said about this album that could be said, but I mean, it's full of a ton of great heavy tracks, awesome riffs on this album, big heavy riffs, with Sad But True and Holier Than Thou, just to name a couple. And just absolute amazing classic Metallica moments that will go down as some of their best tunes ever, and that's on the songs Like Nothing Else Matters and The Unforgiven, with that song, The Unforgiven, going on to spawn a series of songs after it. And Nothing Else Matters would have to go down as one of Metallica's greatest releases ever. And hitting on some of the other tracks such as Don't Tread on Me and Of Wolf and Man, very good songs also. And just kicking off this album with those two massive hits, of course, Enter Sandman and Sad But True. You couldn't ask for anything more, really. Just awesome Metallica songs. So there it goes, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave your thoughts and memories from the Black Album. As I release this video, the album is right up on its 30th anniversary, so just an awesome release here from Metallica. Be sure to leave us a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll catch you next time.
To have one record like that in your career is amazing. It's really amazing.